What's up, guys? How are we? Happy Sunday to everyone, and thanks for tuning in. Hey, Levi. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right. How you doing? We all good? Let me know if you can hear and see me okay. Can you see the BTC chart, or the Delta chart rather? Let me know. Okay, so fresh year, fresh mindset, right? We are now in a new year. We've just come off the back of the holiday period, low volatility period, and it's time to get it, guys, right? I'm feeling good about this year for my trading, for your trading. Yeah, it's going to be a good one for sure. The holiday period I was talking about, right? So let's just cover that quickly. Just for next year and the years to come, right? I put a post out the other day. We're just talking about this, okay? So 13 days, right, from the 19th of December, right, all the way through to, the 1st of Jan, sort of thing, 2nd of Jan. Nothing happening, right? Fuck all happening, okay? We're in a 4.5% range here, okay? And if you zoom out, you see that literally this is just a period of just nothing happening in here, okay? It's the least volatile period in this chart here, okay? Give or take. And there's nothing to be doing there, guys. Okay, so next time the Christmas period comes about, please just take a couple of weeks, right? Reset your internal batteries, have fun with your friends, fun with your family, and just take those weeks, right? No matter how ambitious you are as a person, no matter how dedicated you are to the pursuit of trading, please just take that time off and realize that nothing's going to be happening and you're not going to miss anything at all. Okay, I just wanted to start with that note, right? Obviously that's for another time in the year, a time that's passed now, but yeah, I just wanted to start there. So okay, we'll take a look at the sort of top down for BTC. Okay, so monthly in a good spot at the moment. Okay, we've been speaking about this for some time. Okay, how the monthly has now come down off the back of a potential RSI divergence here, right? And it's now reset itself. Okay, so we're now down, we tapped down to 53s, give or take. Okay, and the RSI has now reset itself on the monthly, which is a very good sign. Okay, as long as the monthly RSI can hold above this 50 level, then we are doing good, right? We are doing good, and by my books, this reset here is very healthy. Okay, as my trading progresses, I spend more and more of my time, more attention on the resets, more attention on the midpoint RSI. It is truly an invaluable tool that I use, okay? Maybe just as much as divergences. I'd go as far as to say that. And you can just see how pivotal it's been, the midpoint here, throughout the entirety of this BTC PA on monthly, okay? Here, came down, tested as support, came up, raging bull run, came back down, lost that mid. Okay, so held under the mid here, retesting it at resistance, come up, okay, then we're overextended and we are coming back down and retesting that mid level. Okay, so we're at a key level here, but things are very healthy on the monthly as far as I'm concerned. Okay, over to the weekly, right? It's the same old song. We've been talking about this for a long time. We've been talking about this since this point up here, right, when we took out the highs. Just saying that, when I was positioning short into this move up here, that really and truly, the thing that catches my eye, I said at this point, there are two levels or zones that catch my eye. The first being this low down here, right, 98.2, so we can potentially come down and sweep like so, right, and reclaim. That's not what occurred. Okay, we came down lower to my next point of interest, which was this weekly demand zone here. All right, so we have weekly origin demand in here. We've been looking at this for some time. This is not only just weekly origin demand, but this is the point at which bullish market structure will get defended on the higher time frames, right? This is where you want to see bulls step in to do so. And you can see that we've basically just come down and we've, we're just retesting. We're testing into the demand at the moment, and now we're pushing away from that zone. Okay. So down to the 3-day, this was the most interesting time frame as far as I'm concerned, really. Yeah, this was the time frame that I was stalking, and I really wanted BTC to just give that one more leg down, right? Something like this would have been beautiful. Okay, would have been really nice, and I was hoping for this to take place over the holiday periods. As you can see, the AO is clearly diverging in this region and now starting to curl up and push away. What I mean is we have lower lows on price here. And clear diverging higher lows on the awesome oscillator here. Okay. Right, and we really want to see that structure mirrored in the RSI here. Okay, to lock in a very clean 3-day double divergence into weekly demand, which would have been a very strong higher time frame signal, okay, and would have warranted probably both a long position by means of perps, but then also spot allocation as well. With very clear invalidation down here at the lows. Okay, the play here would have very much just been tap into demand and get the divergence that forms and then start pushing away. Unfortunately, we haven't had that structure print. Okay, so I am not allocated in BTC by any means. Rather, I'm using it as an indicator for other trades in different markets, right? Different altcoin markets. So daily starting to look good. Okay, we're pushing away again from this weekly demand zone, and we've reclaimed here, as you can see, just how pivotal again the 50 point has been. Capping as resistance here and now reclaiming. Okay, so starting to get some good signs on the daily time frame in terms of the oscillators. Really, my eyes now are drawn to this level here. Okay, so the 94.5s. We also have some overhead supply up here, it's a bit higher up. Okay, but really what we need to see, or what bulls would like to see rather, is that push away, right? We're not going to get that 3-day divergence that forms because that's pretty much off the cards now. Even if we came down and just struck down from here, we've kind of already come up into the reset region around the 45s. Or just within the 45s rather, at 44.96. So this play is off the cards by my book. Okay, it's been a missed op, right? That's fine. Okay, I don't regret it at all. I've still been profiting from the market, still been trading nicely. Haven't been making huge R trades, but still been compounding the account, which has been good. And yeah, I'm happy to miss out on opportunities that aren't A-star setups or S-tier setups, just to maintain my stringency and keep things tight. Okay, as the months and years go on, I'm becoming more patient, more stringent, more disciplined, and as a result, my performance is generally increasing. And my enjoyment of the craft is increasing with it as well. Okay, I'm feeling much more aligned with the markets and things are feeling good. I don't want to ever compromise that or start moving down to setups that aren't S tier by my book. Okay, unless we're in hyper trending markets, which we are not at the moment. Okay, things are bracketing, things are range bound, things are uncertain, generally speaking, across the crypto sector. So keeping my guard high and moving forward with that stance. So yeah, 94 fives, right? What bulls don't want to see is this, okay? If this occurs, right, then we're looking down here. Okay, so we have many lows down here that are unswept, which generally speaking is fine, okay? And it's only really fine because we're moving into a very strong pocket of weekly demand here, okay? This is a very, very technically clean zone or block, right? Because you've got a sharp move in, but a nice cluster, sharp move away. It's a very structurally clean high time frame zone. Okay, so I'm not really worried about lows being left unswept, generally speaking, unless we have some more bearish signals from up here, which means that we could then start coming down and hunting those lows like so. Of course, then, if this occurs and these lows don't get swept and held, then the next point of origin, next point of interest, sorry, is the 94 threes. And yeah, that's where my eye will be drawn. But as for now, we're still just tapping into demand, holding demand, looking good on the weekly, and everything seems to be in good stead at the moment, right? It's well poised, it's in good stead, and this is what I've been saying over the last few streams. Even the stream I did with EXO, you know, a lot of doom and gloom, a lot of fear in the markets, but at the moment, you know, we are into weekly demand. It's very well structured demand, and as long as this zone holds, there's no real cause for concern here, okay? Because at the moment, all we're doing is just printing bullish market structure, like so, okay? And that's the next plausible step for us, as long as we maintain to hold this zone and this higher low on higher time frames. Right. Hope that makes sense. It's clear to you all. Okay. Take a look at ETH. It's a very similar story on ETH. Right. Very, very similar story here. Weekly demand. Right. So we've got weekly demand in here. So this is intra-demand, right? So it's formed between two impulses to the upside, right? So impulse, cluster, impulse, come down, again done so with speed, right? So both of these moves into demand fast, right, on the higher time frames, which is what we want to see for reversals. Move into this block here, and at the moment still pushing away, right? We had some fuckery up here where we diverged and deviated the highs, etc. Came down, basically just skimmed the top of the demand again, retested. Now we're pushing away, okay? Locally on ETH, we've had some interesting price action, right? We basically reclaimed this SR level here, probably map it across here as well, and a push. But yeah, reclaimed this SR level here. And we had some interesting delta when we did, okay? So as we broke out of the SR level, we had some negative delta, a significant spike of negative delta here, which is what bulls want to be seeing for sure, okay? Absence of positive and even some negative coming through. So looking healthier for more upside. Off the back of sort of ETH price action mainly, but also a bit of BTC looking bullish-ish locally, right? Invalidating the 3-day divergence. And yeah, harmony of factors, including this negative delta spike on ETH as we sort of broke out. I decided to flatten up on my short positions across the board. So hype, we taking it off, right? I'm clean chart right now. So hype closed up right in and about this area. I closed up everything last night. Okay, so closed hype in around here. 2.3 R there on hype. Gold I closed as well. Obviously, this is a synthetic gold asset. Only reason I closed this, obviously, this is out of the crypto sector, so not influenced by BTC and ETH. It's because this weekly divergence printing here. If we go into the trad list, we can see that cleaner. Okay, so it's a very, very strong weekly divergence here, which is to close tonight. And yeah, normally I wouldn't let counter trend divergences stop me out of a strong trend. But I just generally felt like going flat last night and reallocating positions and just starting to think about things a bit more. Sometimes I do that, right? My gut will tell me just to flatten up. And historically, it's been a good thing, right? It's a rare thing that happens where my intuition goes, okay, cool, you've got 4 open positions at the moment. You've held them for a decent amount of time, and your gut's telling you for whatever reason to flatten up for different reasons, right? So you've got, the BTC and ETH sort of bullish headwinds that I was talking about from the price action of the charts. Then you've got this was the only trad asset I was trading, right? And you can see that the weekly divergence here led me to close this up. But generally speaking, everything was just kind of feeling like I should be closing up positions and looking at some fresh ones. Okay, so yeah, let's have a look here. Close this for again a 1 hour or something, right? XRP, I bit a loss, right? A bit of loss, closed it here or so. Excuse me. Near sneeze. The worst kind of rug. So yeah, basically took the short position here on XRP. It was something like this, I believe. Looking to play it down lower, and then closed it into this candle here last night. So it took a 0.5 L or something on that, and then H bar was pretty much a break-even trade, right? So it came out for a very, very small profit, but pretty much break even, right? Who are we kidding? So went flat, and yeah, just decided to reallocate. Been looking at some other markets of late. CC's had my eye, right? So I'm hawking CC at the moment. A fresh listing on Bybit, and yeah, you can see that it's moving, right? To start, it's one of the markets that's moving. It's got some volatility, some life in it. So I've been hawking this, but nothing clean enough to pull the trigger. But largely my eye of late has been on BCH. Right, this is where my eye is, and I'll strip this chart back, and we can basically just go through this market. I have taken a fresh position on BCH, and normally, I mean, I'm kicking about entry now, so normally wouldn't disclose it, simply because I don't want to influence you guys, right? I never like saying when I'm in positions in the moment, because I don't want to be a signals account. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to be responsible for your finances by any means, or your financial decisions. Rather, I'd love to, impart my knowledge from the trading space that I've accrued over the last 9 years and share that with you guys, right? So that's always been the purpose of these channels. Of that ilk, I will run through this trade because it does serve educational purpose, okay? So super clean market here, BCH, right? This is kind of like one to print out and annotate and really study, okay? So let's run through it. So I'm actually going to just take this off magnet and do it manually. So you have a nice touch point here that I want to capture. Okay, so we've got one touch point here, and you can see that this is really just bodies. Okay, so you've got wicks that are up here. Okay, we've got a wick up here, a wick here, wick here, wick here, and then a couple of wicks here. Okay, so I don't care about those. Okay, in the sense that I'm not drawing the level off the back of those wicks. It's the bodies. right? And typically breakout trades are nicest drawn from bodies on significant time frames. Goes without saying, the daily is a significant time frame. 1 touch point, 2 touch points, 3 touch points, 4 touch points, 5 touch points, and then the break. Okay. We also have, so going off the conversation of wicks and bodies, when you are looking for breakout levels off bodies, which I recommend, largely speaking, you will have some wicks in there as well. Okay, so wicks will be left because as the bodies sort of close in and around that level, the wicks sometimes stray a bit further past the level. Okay, so we always want to be looking at the one that's strayed the furthest, because that's the one that could fuck us, right? That's the one that could cause us potential issues. What I mean by that is you can get some nice bodies like we have now, but then price could come up, sweep this, and then just do this, right? And obviously you don't want to be on the wrong side of that. So I posted yesterday in my group and just said, look, you know, basically what you don't want to see is this level here at the 651s get swept, close underneath, and then reverse. Okay, so we didn't have that on the lower time frames, right? Didn't have that in the lower time frames, and we didn't have that on the daily. Okay, so we've got strong closes through the level, right, on both the lower time frames and the higher time frames. Secondary to this, the RSI has just been so primed here. It's been so primed, right? The way that we've sort of been dancing around the mid, holding the mid, just dancing around, retesting the mid, again coming down to retest in the manner, right? Coming down to the 52s and then start pushing away. That's always why we want to see consolidation prior to a breakout. Okay, so right, when we're trading breakouts, we want to see a few things. Firstly, a level with multiple touch points, okay, that we can say this isn't just wishy-washy, right? This is multiple touch points. This isn't a diagonal that we can start, you know, mapping around here or there and getting subjective with it. It's objective. We have multiple touch points. We have 5 touch points to the bodies here, which is looking great. We've got our clean level to work with. Second, we want to see price just start pushing up, right? Just start pushing up against that level, right? And just do this sort of coiling thing, consolidation prior to the break, which we clearly have. Then what that normally does, but we have to make sure it does, is reset the RSI and make it look very, very healthy, which essentially just means that we've got loads of room to the upside. Okay, if price is to start pushing up, we don't want to be trading breakouts or taking breakout triggers into overextensions on the RSI. And yeah, it's been a super, super clean market to chart. Okay, so we also have this high up here. Right, ideally we wouldn't have this high. Right, this is kind of a trouble area. Okay, it could have some supply in here as well. Right, so there could be some latent supply in this region, but mainly it poises another level to be swept, essentially. Okay, so we have another level that could be swept and reversed if prices to start pushing up, which I believe it will. Okay, I'm positioned according to that narrative. But yeah, we basically just have to take that as it comes, monitor the situation and not sort of be blind in position, right? Analyze whether we do start sweeping and deviating, sweeping and or deviating the 719s if we are to get there, and just sort of take that into account, okay? Weekly RSI, super, super healthy, right? So we've got the weekly that's bouncing off the mid. We've got the daily, which was bouncing off the mid. You know, we've got multiple higher time frames coming together. We've got a very, very strong daily level. We're cognizant of this this high here at 651s, which we've now we've sort of said that this isn't too much of an issue here. Okay, a strong bodied daily candle, right? Not too worried now. If it was, you know, a long-tailed red pin bar, for instance, then it would be a different story. But we're looking healthy in this region across the daily. So when did I position into this market? How did I execute? It was actually this morning, 9:30 this morning, right? So it's 11 o'clock now, an hour and a half ago, right? And the reason I positioned this morning as opposed to last night is because we had this sort of diverging price action, okay, in here. But what we also had is we had the first leg of the divergence here, and then we had the divergence to place, and the second leg was with speed, right? It was a fast second leg. Okay, we didn't grind into this, we didn't consolidate under the level. It was a fast second leg into a Saturday night as well, right? Which all of these factors by experience tells me it's not probably the best time to be rushing into position and that you have more time. So what I was looking for was price to essentially come down and reset, which is exactly what I saw this morning. You can see the price came down, and then this candle here was where we reset, right? So tap down to the 52s, 53s, okay? So anything between 55 and 45, like so. You can sort of map it out like this, 55 to 45, anywhere within this region, okay? I'll just show it to you here. That's a technical reset by my books, okay? It doesn't have to come down exactly to the 50 level. We like it to, because those are noted as exact resets, okay? But this is still a technical reset, so we are all good, right, to move into position. So we took the installment, I think, on the back of this candle here, or was somewhere in this last hourly candle here. Do I not have the... Yeah, it was somewhere in here. So I believe it was just under this candle here. And going back to the daily, we can look at where the stop was placed, right? So I wanted to give it just a bit more room than this low here, just to cater for a shallow sweep, right? I think it was these bodies down here that I chose for the stop, right? Just to cater for a very, very, very shallow sweep of these lows here, if we were to come down and reverse and put in some fuckery for expansion, right? Which is pretty common, okay? And target wise, I'd probably revert back to the weekly to do so. But again, you know, there's this high here, right? At the 719s, and we also have this weekly high in here, right? So we've got a couple of trouble areas coming up, okay? And yeah, I'm not really thinking about TPs so far. I'm thinking about surviving more than anything. Obviously, we're pretty much at entry here, right? So it's just a game of surviving, seeing if this does indeed break out or whether I bite the L. Okay. Yeah, those are the positions I've been in and out of late. Do you guys have any questions for me? So just to note as well, right, when I'm in these swing or position trades, what I like to do, and I mentioned this in my Discord recently, right, what I like to do is this left click, right click rather, and hide, okay? So this was just it seems so simple. It seems so simple, but when you have as many monitors as I do, and you're staring at them quite often, it's a very, very useful tool, okay? Because if price dances around and does something like this, right, you really don't feel it as much, okay? You don't feel the cortisol, you don't feel the stress, you don't feel the pressure that could make you exit within this region, okay? It's never nice to know you're dancing in the underwater region. So yeah, just a little tip to you guys. If you don't already hide your position tool as swing traders in particular, even more so as position traders. It's a very, very useful psychological trick that you can do on TradingView. And again, it may seem trivial, may seem rudimentary and useless, but trust me, it helps hold through the initial periods of potential turbulence. We can just have a scan through some of the other markets as well, just to touch up. BNB alerts here at these equal highs, right? Potential continuation trade. Again, if we hold, then good luck, right? And we can start flipping our bias. BTC, already spoken about how my eyes are now looking at the 94.5s. ETH, same thing at the 3.4s. Put that up here. Hype, don't really care about this market anymore, out of position, and nothing to action in terms of fresh positions. Again, you can do something like this perhaps. Sol stacked highs up here, right? Double stacked highs. So alerts up here. We've also got this fresh pocket of origin supply as well. So eyes on a potential move, something like this, perhaps. Okay. But again, as you can see, I'm talking about mainly short setups here, right? And I'm looking at BTC and ETH to see their reactions with their highs, and then potentially play into these off the back of those signals, if that makes sense. Juggler, how much leverage would you use on the BCH trade? I use cross leverage. I don't really think about leverage. Cross, as long as you are managing your risk properly, right? And you size up and you position, size everything, and it's properly risk managed, etc. And you make sure you've got good margin on the account, is the way to go, in my opinion, right? Leverage is purely a means of not keeping too much capital on the exchange and remaining custody of your assets, right? That's all it is, okay? Whether it's 2x leverage, 10x leverage, 100x leverage, yeah, doesn't really matter. XRP is kind of starting to look interesting to the long side. Especially here on the daily, right? As we sort of start hitting into this 50 level and now reclaiming it. Again, I'm not particularly convinced. If this low wasn't here, maybe it would be a cleaner level, right? And maybe I'd start thinking about it. But at the moment, it doesn't quite have my interest, and I can't put my finger on why. But again, I've got to listen to the gut. Zora up against daily, right? So mid resistance here and this daily zone here, or level rather. So it needs to reclaim for anything higher. ZEC is still interesting, right? Still an interesting market for sure. Reclaim daily, mid. You see on the higher time frames. Weekly come down, cooled off. 3-day. Nice reset here. Okay. Nothing particularly actionable. We do have a pocket of 4-hour demand in here. And to answer your second question, Juggler, is it spot positioning? No, I'm staying away from spot these days. Right, so I'll set an alert here. Merlin, what a weird market. What a strange market indeed. I'm happy to have extracted some value out of this fuckery here, but generally speaking, been very unpredictable. You can see actually that we just took out this high here on the higher time frames. I'm bleeding down now. Right, if you look at it from that angle and viewpoint. But yeah, nothing particularly actionable. H-bar out position, and CC just basically watching and waiting. Eyes are really on the 0.2s here. Okay, so I want to see a sharp move into the 0.2s, potentially a sweep, potentially a divergence, potentially a deviation, and look to position short perhaps, right? Or it's reclaim, move into price discovery, and start flipping bias and looking for longs. Okay. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. I'll love you and leave you, get on with my day. Hope you have a nice weekend, and yeah, I'll catch you next week, I'm sure. Happy trading, and I hope you smash this year, guys. Put in the work, maintain your patience, your discipline, your stringency, and yeah, I wish you all